Right, so for today's video, we have an update on a situation that we spoke about a couple of days ago involving Michelle the Bartender. Now, I would highly recommend watching that video before you watch this one because, again, it's an update to that previous situation. But since I recorded that video, Michelle has uploaded many more videos talking about this. In fact, let's actually see how many videos has she uploaded about this in total. So I'm counting 9 videos in total that have been uploaded about this, so yeah, there's a few new ones. Now, to give a very fast recap, in case you need reminders, and again, if you haven't seen it, I would recommend the first video, but very fast recap here. Michelle the Bartender is a TikToker with 5 million followers. As you can tell by the name, she is a bartender. She's been involved in a lot of controversy through the years for a number of reasons, but more recently, it was because she was recently fired from her job. Now, Michelle actually announced this on her TikTok account that she'd got fired. She said that a bunch of the staff also got fired. This resulted in people making videos giving their opinions. Some people who claimed that they knew more than the general public were making videos saying like what really happened in their words. A lot of these claims were stuff like Michelle was sleeping with the general manager, and because of that, she was able to get free alcohol from the bar, basically stealing from the bar. Also, some people were claiming that she was like stealing LED signs and putting in a home bar. Michelle originally responded to just like the alcohol and sign claims and just kind of tried proving that that wasn't the case, right? She says that she bought the alcohol herself, and she showed that she had like a bunch of receipts in her hands that you couldn't really read, but we do see more of that in today's video. And like I said in that previous video, I do actually believe her when it comes to that type of stuff, especially the sign, right? The LED sign she apparently took from the bar, because that would be so easy for the bar to like prove if she did do that. And the bar isn't actually claiming that, by the way. This was people on TikTok who were claiming that. But again, it would be very easy to prove, you know, there's a sign missing at the bar and Michelle has the exact same one at home. The alcohol stuff isn't as simple, but I mean, Michelle buying her own alcohol and putting it in a home bar doesn't seem like the craziest thing to me, right? So if she's claiming she did that and we don't have any proof to like prove otherwise, then yeah, I guess that very well could have happened. Now, originally the stuff with the general manager wasn't spoken about, but then Michelle uploaded a video kind of addressing everything. She says, yes, she is dating the general manager. She then goes into more detail about how one of her co-workers left because Michelle made a video about her and her boyfriend and she wasn't very happy with it. Michelle didn't want to remove the video, so that person left. And then ever since then, one of the owners that isn't Michelle's boyfriend kind of started treating Michelle differently. I guess they didn't really get along. And then long story short, the 2 out of the 3 investors actually voted against Michelle's boyfriend, decided he's no longer running the bar, and people that he had hired need to leave. And that included Michelle, and that is why she was fired. Now, obviously, I don't know the 100% specifics of the story, right? What I'm saying here is stuff that has been rehashed from Michelle's own videos. Now, there is one video that was uploaded when I recorded my last video, but I didn't speak about it. I just completely missed it for whatever reason, so I thought I would include it in this before we get to the newer stuff. But it's basically Michelle talking about the fact that this bar actually wants to cater to college students now, and her response to that is that her audience is college students, and whenever there was like a fraternity event, a sorority event, or whatever it is at the bar, it was kind of like a meet and greet because everyone was there to meet Michelle.
Here's what doesn't make sense to me. So you want to cater towards college students, right? So 77% of my followers are female. 36% of my followers are between the ages of 18 and 24, college age, right? Anytime we had a fraternity or a sorority event, every single person that came in there knew who I was. I was taking pictures more than I was even bartending. It was like a meet and greet. Why would you fire me when you want to cater towards college students?
And then Michelle goes on further to say that she probably would have left anyways once she found out that her partner was like no longer able to run the restaurant anymore, right? So she would have left anyways, and then goes into like further details of how the staff got fired.
I don't even think they had to fire me. All they had to do was saying that they're changing it to a college bar and that, hey, the person that's been running this is no longer going to be running it. I would have been like, oh, okay, well, I'm going to put my 2 weeks in. It's a business decision at the end of the day. I'm trying to not take it personally.
Sorry to interrupt. You might have like seen me in the corner there just like looking weirdly. I genuinely thought this thing in the background was a Ouija board, and it still kind of looks like one. I was just thinking that's a fucking weird thing to put in your whole bar. Very brave. But actually looking at it, I don't think it is. It just looks very, very similar.
But the former active owner that called each of us individually and fired us on the phone, he did us a solid. You know what they were going to do? They were going to have us all just show up to our shifts and fire us as we showed up. A lot of the bartenders that work there have other jobs, like other bartending jobs. So when you give them a couple days notice that, hey, you're not working this weekend here because you're fired, then they can have the opportunity to pick up other shifts at the other bars that they work at. I thought that was messed up. I was like, y'all You weren't even gonna let us plan our weekend?
So yeah, like I said, that was a video that was uploaded already when I recorded the last video. I just missed it, but now let's get to the newer videos. So in this first video, Michelle goes on to respond further to people claiming that she stole the alcohol from the bar, and she responds by trying to prove that she didn't.
If you've ever wanted to accuse somebody of stealing liquor bottles from a bar, or maybe the boss put them on the company card for you and to stock your own bar because ain't no way I could buy all this myself, right? Besides, the ridiculous amount of proof that I indeed paid for all these bottles. Do you see my name right there? See my name right there?
Yeah, I mean, look, right, obviously we get to see the receipts and more details, I guess. Like, again, I kind of just believed her in this case anyways, because again, Michelle buying the bottles herself isn't the craziest thing in the world, right? I think the thing that more people were interested in was like the whole general manager stuff, just because there was a bunch more people making videos about that. There was former employees talking about it, saying they didn't like to work with Michelle, Kenny in particular, who we actually do see a response to from Michelle later on in the video. But yeah, Kenny made a video saying he didn't like working with Michelle, and she would spend the majority of the time like downstairs with like the general manager and whatnot. And like I said, Michelle does have a response to that later.
There's probably something else you should know too. Bars in North Carolina are required to maintain detailed records of alcohol purchases and sales, including invoices and receipts for 3 years. As somebody who has been bartending, when ALE has visited, when they come in, the first thing they're gonna do is they're gonna wanna see your liquor license. The second thing they're gonna do is they're gonna ask you for all of your receipts. They wanna see what you have bought and when. And they wanna check to match your inventory with your receipts. They want to know how much you've spent from the ABC store and the quantity purchased, amount collected.
Okay, so she goes into like a bunch of the legal stuff, right? She's saying like this is all recorded, so like she wouldn't be able to do this, basically. And to be fair, from the video I've seen of someone claiming this, right, that we spoke about in the last video, was uploaded by a TikToker called Spears No Beers. And from what I can tell, I didn't see the original video, but I've seen people talking about it. There wasn't really proof of this happening anyways, it was just like a claim. But as you can see, Michelle really wanted to make it clear in her videos that she didn't do this. She uploaded multiple videos specifically on this like drink stealing accusation. And of course, we also watched a video where Michelle is saying that she is going to sue the person who made the video claiming that. Now at this point, because Michelle had been uploading so many videos like talking about the situation, a lot of the comments were from people basically saying like, we don't need any more videos, like it's okay, it's not that big of a deal. Michelle actually makes a video respond these comments, responding specifically, she says, to people saying that she needs to get over it.
You just need to get over it, just move on. No. I have worked so hard for the past year and 2 months to keep my relationship and social media separate. When somebody thinks that they can get up on here and just call me a thief and a liar and accuse me of all this crazy stuff, and then also out my relationship that I have worked, I was not ready for that. Now that person got the clout off of me for outing something that I wasn't ready to talk about.
And then goes on further to say that even though she has spoke about this information about her like dating the general manager, it's still going to remain private.
I didn't want anybody to know who he was, and he didn't either. Just because you guys know that he was the former active owner doesn't mean that I'm going to be sharing him on here. We are still together and we are great. He came over on Sunday night and brought me these and these right here.
Yeah, so as you can see, like Michelle's talking about like how she got like flowers from him and whatnot, and from what I can tell reading the comments, a lot of people seem to be so shocked about this, mainly because Michelle has been making videos for the past year or so talking about like this mystery boyfriend who's like buying her flowers and whatnot. So people, I guess, were like very invested on who this was. So I guess it was like a shock to the system when these people who were already invested in the story found out that it was the general manager, which is now, well, not necessarily resulted in people getting fired, because Michelle says it's completely unrelated, but it has maybe resulted in some drama, right? Because like Kenny, for example, made a video talking about it. And this is where we actually get to Michelle's response to Kenny specifically. So if you haven't seen my last video or you need a reminder, Kenny uploaded a couple of videos. The first one being because a lot of people are asking him his opinions on Michelle getting fired from her job. Kenny responded saying he hasn't actually worked there in over a year. All he knows is that he didn't personally like working with Michelle. There was no mention of the general manager in that first video. Then Michelle actually commented on that video with this comment, as we can see, saying, "I hate to know you didn't like work with me. I really liked you, Kenny." To which Kenny then responded further.
All right, let's put it this way. To any industry worker out there, let's say that you're at this bar and your coworker spends most of their shift on the other side of the bar or downstairs with the manager. How are you going to feel about it when you have to evenly split tips with this person? But how do you handle it when this person has 5 million followers on TikTok and is dating one of the owners? Nothing you do is going to change the situation It could get you fired, but nothing you say is going to fix it. You suck it up, you do your work, you go home. That's all I cared about. That's all I wanted to do.
Okay, so he clearly has an opinion that the fact that Michelle and the general manager are together in a relationship has caused a bit of an issue in his eyes. He's basically saying that Michelle would be like kind of like slacking, right? And be like downstairs with the general manager, and then they have to like split their tips evenly at the end of the night. Now, Michelle has responded to this video, and she's clearly not very happy in it, but the whole point in this video is kind of proving the fact that Kenny apparently didn't even know that they were together while he worked there.
Kenny, since you want clout so badly off of me, I'm about to say something, and you're gonna feel so stupid in a second. This is a screenshot from a video he posted at the bar that we used to work at together. 4/12, April 12th. So the very next video that he posted was a video on 4/25 saying that he no longer works at that bar anymore. So it is safe to say that he left that bar that I was working at with him between the 12th and the 25th, right?
Okay, now I will say, right, this video is kind of confusing. It did take me a couple of goes to really understand what she was talking about, and in fact, if we look at the comments of this video, the majority of the comments are just from people being like, I don't really get what's going on. But basically, what she's trying to prove in this video is that Kenny didn't know that they were in a relationship, right? And the way she's wanting to prove this is through a story that Kenny believed that the general manager had a different girlfriend.
There used to be this girl that would come in almost every night that we were open, and she loved to talk to the owner. One of the nights, one of the other bartenders, not Kenny, one of the other ones, comes up to me and says, hey, did you see his new little girlfriend? And I'm like, his who? Because mind you, I'm his girlfriend. So I'm like, what? And I just like walk down and I see them both talking together. They're laughing. And I'm like, huh, okay. Anyway, I go back to work.
Okay, so there's another woman in this story. Kenny's gone up to Michelle and said, oh, have you seen the general manager's new girlfriend? She's confused because she is the general manager's girlfriend. Now, again, this is trying to prove that Kenny didn't know that they were in a relationship, right? Now, Michelle shows proof in this video, or I guess, well, this is like the proof she is claiming proves the story, right? So she shows a screenshot of her, like, searching who this woman was on a certain date. And that's to kind of like prove that this situation did happen where this woman was getting questioned, and again, pretty confusing.
After the shift was over, I asked my boyfriend, also the owner, I was like, so who's that girl? He told me, which he had referenced her earlier for some service that he had done. I'm not going to tell you guys because then you'll know what profession she's in, and I'm not going to tell you. I can prove it because I was very upset about this. I'm like, everybody thinks that you're screwing her and you're not, but they still think it. And I was getting all these derogatory comments about it and stuff. And I just had to laugh it off and be like, yeah. On April 1st, it was a Monday, I took this screenshot. So my sister and I were hanging out that night, and I wanted to be able to show her. I blocked her out because I don't want to show her face on here. But I wanted to show my sister that everybody at work thinks that that my boyfriend is screwing this girl. I wanted to show her.
So then Michelle concludes this video by saying that everyone thought the general manager was dating this other woman, therefore they didn't even know they were together, therefore Kenny's story doesn't make sense.
For over a month, the entire staff, besides me of course, was so convinced that the owner was fucking this girl. And he wasn't, because he's fucking me. He was coming home to my house after we left work. Yeah, so you want to hop on here and talk about how you were fearful for your job. You didn't want to say anything because I was dating the owner. None of y'all knew, okay? Anyone else want to hop on here and lie about me? I got receipts for everything.
Okay, so pretty confusing story, right? It's up to you, like, what you believe, right? But this is basically Michelle trying to, like, prove that no one knew about this relationship. And again, the only reason why that's important is because Kenny's made the video saying that the fact they were in a relationship was a negative thing at work, right? I'd be interested to see what Kenny's response to it would be. I would imagine it might be something along the lines of like Kenny just saying that he did know, and then we're just kind of sat here being like, don't know who's telling the truth. But yeah, like I said, it's a little confusing. I mean, if we look at the comments here, right, there's comments from people saying stuff like, I've been trying to follow this, but what the hell is going on? I'm so confused. I feel like you're jumping into a story. You're single? Kenny was your boyfriend? He was cheating on you? What? Maybe I missed something, but what does this girl have to do with Kenny? Like, no one has a fucking clue what's going on. I mean, this comment's just saying, wait, so Kenny was the part owner? Like, genuinely? There's so many different, like, versions of this story coming out in the comments because no one has a clue. Now, as for the people that aren't confused, let's take a look at them comments, right? So, one of the more liked comments on here is this one saying, I think we're losing you. Another comment here saying, if I have this level of drama at 40, I've gone wrong in life. Michelle's responded, saying, if I was 40, I could sue for age discrimination. Another comment here saying, just because you think none of them knew, it doesn't mean they didn't. And then there's a lot of comments basically saying something along this line, saying, too many, I'm not going to tell that to make any of this believable. And yeah, I mean, there is a lot of, like, I'm not going to tell this part of the story, I'm not going to tell this. That, I don't know about, like, the believable part, but it definitely makes it more confusing to really understand what's happening here. But either way, that's the new videos that have been uploaded by Michelle on this situation. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Does it change any of your opinions? Does it strengthen any of your opinions from the original video? Just any thoughts that you have, let me know in the comment section down below, and I'm going to leave it there. So if you did enjoy, please do leave a like on it, subscribe if you are new, and until the next one, I'll see you guys in a bit. Alright, goodbye.